Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review of Captain America issue 23. And this was a pretty good issue. It mainly stayed within Sharon's focus, as she was our point of entry and pretty much getting her thoughts on everything that's going on as they deal with Selene and everything that she's done in this town. And of course, throughout it, we see bits and pieces of Sharon pretty much boxing a holographic representation of her in her youth and talking about like the trade-offs of youth versus age, and how even though you would think when you're older that men would stop looking at you more and that the world would slow down, she's found that like the opposite has been in effect and that everything's kind of sped up as well. It's like, that's interesting, talking about that and figuring all that out while she's going and leading everything to take down Selene. And she, of course, gets Agatha and Shuri to pretty much get the rest of the guys out of there, as well as Bucky and Sam, while we get Steve and Shuri pretty much dealing with the other kind of vampire women that Selene has under her thrall, while Sharon uses the Iron Patriot armor that they've modified to take her on. And it's kind of interesting to see her talking about, okay, Tony was able to get to it. This thing had been built to be pretty much non-lethal, which kind of is, kind of isn't, because Norman Osborn had part of that, and he had no qualms about like murdering people. Now, granted, this could have been a rebuilt kind of one that really hadn't been touched from like Norman Osborn's days, where I'm like, Osborn didn't give a shit about like blowing some people up if he needed to. So, but her and Tony decided to upgrade it to be able to deal with Selene's level of threat, i.e., so that way it could survive longer and also pump out some more damage. Talking about how Tony had to go against her better angels, I'm like, sure, I can kind of get that, understand that argument, but you're going up against a very high power class mutant that has some fucking strong shit. So you're gonna have to put on a big old thing that's gonna beat the shit out of it to make sure that you can knock it out. And we see her pretty much flying her off, slamming her into a barn and pretty much taking her ass out. But she's like, ah, shit, I'm not thinking straight. And she sees that there's some more guys that have been screwed over once the barn collapsed. So she's able to kind of get them out. But of course, Selene pretty much does like a heat beam Kamehameha wave at her. Best kind of description that I got. Kind of takes her out of the game for like enough time for Selene to drain some of the men, and she's like, you shouldn't have come back here. You shouldn't have come here for revenge and everything. And she's like, all right, cool. And then pretty much tries to get back to the rest of the group. But the thing is, we then start learning that her whole plan was to pretty much burn out Selene. She, of course, has the power advantage and everything, and we get some of that in her inner monologue, talking about the differences between young Michael Jordan and old Michael Jordan, and young Ollie and older Ollie. And it's like, that's actually very kind of description. They're not going in to completely overpower her, they're going to wear her ass out. And she pretty much punches herself out, using up most of her energy reserves and going into an older kind of state, while she's trying to drown Sharon in a body of water. But they get back out, and we are like, yeah, there's like a council in Krakoa that would really like to talk to you and everything. And they take off the Blood Marine. They put back the energy and stuff that was like being sucked off of people and everything, and then used the remainder of it and what was going on with Sharon to bring her back to her actual age, her youthful appearance and everything. I'm like, she comments after, wow, I've had like the strangest dream, and I'm like, thank God. Granted, I understand that she was in like the Dimension Z and everything, and as we see her like going back and forth with dealing with that aging process and actually trying to retain some of that wisdom, because she's all right with everything having its season, getting older and everything, but sometimes there is no really rhyme or reason to certain shit. And she's like, if you find a reason for why the Dimension Z shit happened and me getting old, tell it to me. I'll be here, I promise. And it's like, yeah, it didn't really happen. It was, now granted, I understand it's a story, but if you look into it, some things just happen for bumfuck no reason. It's like, it's bullshit. And we kind of get a remedy here, and it's like, yes, all right, I'm glad that she's back. We'll have to see if that changes anything up. Steve, of course, will be happy for her, but it'll be interesting to see if that changes their relationship or anything. Now, I'm glad that we've gotten this portion done, and since one of the Power Elite have been taken off the board in this way, it'll be interesting to see how the rest of them kind of go about and get to see some more movement on this. Because I don't mind a slow burn on everything, but I kind of would like the pace to pick up a little bit so that way we can actually really start dealing with stuff. But if it has taken so long so that way we can get Sharon back to her actual age and everything, I'm more than okay with that. I was like, alright, cool. So, those are my opinions on the issue. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.